Have you ever wished you could accomplish your goals without any stress? Have you ever had a day when you're highly motivated, so you go on YouTube to look for a productivity system that would work for you? Yet when you try to find the system, you don't really find anything useful. And even if you do, it's so complex that it is not practical for your day-to-day life. This is the exact problem that I'm going to help you solve today. In this video, I'm going to show you a very simple system that you can use to turbocharge your productivity regardless of whether you're a full-time student, a corporate employee, a side hustler, or all of the above. Hey friends, welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, my name is Suraj, and on this channel, I share tips, tools, and strategies to help young adults build a deeper and more fulfilling life. So if that sounds interesting, consider subscribing. Let's begin. In order to help you become your most productive self, there are 3 essential parts that a system needs to have. First, it needs to have a way that will help you plan your life, which is planning your years, your months, your weeks, and your days. Second, it needs to have a way that will allow you to remember the things that you need to get done. And third, it needs to have a way that will help you brainstorm ideas. In order to build this productivity system for yourself, there are 3 routes that you could take. You could either go the hardware route, where you would use a physical journal, a diary, and an alarm clock. This method would work best for you if you just like the touch of paper or if you like writing things by your hand. This method would also work for you if you like decorating your notes and organizing your files in a file cabinet. But this hardware route would not work for you if you don't like spending a lot of time organizing and managing your diaries. It would also not work if you want to keep all your notes at your hand regardless of where you are, because you cannot possibly carry all your diaries everywhere that you go. This is the exact reason why the hardware route does not work that well for me. So the second route that you could go is by using software, the software route, which is basically by using applications. By going the software route, you will be letting go of the desire to write things down by your hand on a real paper. But the benefits that you will get out of this software route will be enormous. The first being that you will have everything on your hand. We are living in a time in which regardless of where you are, whether you be at your home, your workplace, or on the way, we always have a device on us, namely our smartphones. And because of that, all the notes that you take, your reminders, your ideas, everything that you store in your productivity system will be accessible to you at all places. And that is very, very powerful. The second benefit of going the software route is the searchability. Since everything is stored digitally, you will be able to find any information that you need easily. Regardless of what platform you're on, whether you be on your Mac, your PC, your phone, or a web browser, you will be able to find the information that you need immediately. You can just go to your search box and you can search for things. And regardless of how deep the file is stored, it will come up immediately. On the other hand, if you were using paper, diary, or notebooks, it would take you hours to find a single information. And the third benefit of going the software route is that it is very customizable. You can either make your system very simple and easy to use, or you can go the other way and build a complex system that has a lot of apps working with one another. The choice will be in your hands. So basically it is very customizable. And then there's also this third route that you could use to build your system, in which you'll use paper for some things and software for other things. The system that I'm going to show you will work regardless of what route you go. So whether you use all hardware, all software, or a combination of both, this system will be applicable. Since I'm most experienced with software, I'm going to use that route to illustrate the idea. Okay, now let's get back to the 3 parts that a system needs to have in order to turbocharge your productivity. The first was a way to plan your life, which is your years, your months, your weeks, and your days. The best way to plan your life is not by focusing on the things that you're doing right now, but instead it is to first define what your ideal life would be like, and then work backwards from there. I'll give you an example to explain this better. When I completed my high school, there were 2 options that I had. I could either study medicine and become a doctor, or I could study computer science and become an engineer. The way that I decided my major was by thinking about my vision for my ideal life. There were 2 major things that I needed to have in my ideal life. The first was the freedom to work from anywhere. I wanted to be able to travel and work, basically remote work. And the second thing that I wanted to have is a stable routine. And because of these 2 things in my vision for my ideal life, it was clear that computer science was the better way for me. If I were to study medicine and become a doctor, I would have to stay near a hospital. I would not have the freedom to work from anywhere, which is very important for me. And secondly, I may or may not be able to have a stable routine, as in I could be called up for an emergency. This is why it is best that you plan your life on the basis of the vision that you have for your ideal life. Once you figure out the kind of life that you want to live, you will be able to easily work backwards and find out the things that you need to do. Once you have figured that out, you can now think about your goals and your progress in 3 timelines. That is years, weeks, and days. There's no months because I have realized that a month is this weird time duration between years and weeks, which is difficult to measure and to in general think about goals. So we are working with years, weeks, and days. So to plan your years, you will need to figure out what are the major milestones that you can achieve in 1 year. In my case, it is that I want to reach 1000 subscribers on this YouTube channel. That is my yearly goals. And then you move down to weekly goals. What are the things that you can do each week that will help you accomplish your yearly goals? In my case, in order to reach the 1000 subscriber milestone, I want to be able to upload 1 video every week. That is my weekly goal. And then in order to achieve your weekly goals, what are the things that you will need to do every day? In my case, in order to make progress towards my weekly goal of uploading 1 video a week, I will need to make progress on writing, shooting or editing my videos, right? So what I can do is I can spread those tasks throughout the week. And with the help of that, I'll be able to clearly see what are the things that I'll need to do every day in order to accomplish my weekly goals. And the weekly goals will help me accomplish my yearly goals, which will ultimately help me accomplish my ideal lifestyle. So what is the system that we'll use? For our yearly goals, we'll either use a physical notebook or we'll use a notes app in which we will mention the things that we are planning to achieve this year. So once the yearly goals are done, we'll move on to the weekly and daily goals. In order to track our daily and weekly goals, we will use a calendar. I personally use Google Calendar because it works well with all the devices. You can easily go to Google Calendar and you can turn it to weekly view. And then you'll be able to see all the 7 days of the weeks. And then you can schedule all the things that you need to do every day in order to accomplish your weekly goal. Using a calendar is super helpful because it lets you see all the things that you're doing during a given time period. So if somebody is asking you to go somewhere or do something, or if there's something else that you have to do during the week, you can easily see, okay, this is the time when I'm doing this particular thing. This is the time when I'm working on my weekly goal. So I'll have to schedule this other thing that has come up later on. So basically you are making sure that you are getting done all the things that you need to get done. And it is just such a relief when you don't have to think what you should be doing right now. If everything is scheduled on your calendar, you can just relax and do the things that are there. You don't have to spend your mental energy to think about what you should be doing. You can just get to work. Alright, so now we have our yearly, weekly and daily goals. But how do we remember to get the daily tasks done? This is where the second part of our productivity system comes in, which is a reminders app. There are a bunch of reminder apps on the market, including Todoist, TickTick, Apple Reminders, Google Tasks and many more. But the free and best option is Apple Reminders if you are on iOS or macOS, and Google Tasks if you are an Android user. What you can do is that at the beginning of every day, you can put the things that you need to accomplish within a given day. And as the day passes and you accomplish your daily goals, you can mark the task as done. This way, at the end of the day, you'll be able to see what are the things that you were not able to do. And then you can transfer all of those for the next day or for the upcoming days during the week. Moving on to the third and the final piece of our productivity system, which is a way to brainstorm ideas. Now, in order to brainstorm ideas, we will need a notes app. You could either use Notion, Obsidian, Apple Notes, Google Keep, Microsoft Word, Google Docs, or any other software that you want. The most important thing is that it has to be easy to use. Because if you choose a system that is not very easy for you to use, there will be a lot of friction. I personally use Obsidian because it is free, open source, and it allows me to do all the things that I want to do. And it is highly customizable, of course. So these are the 3 parts of our productivity system. But before you go, there is this final idea that I want to give you. And it is the idea of friction. There's this quote that I love. I don't know where it came from, but it basically says that friction is the most powerful thing in the world. If there's a habit that you want to get rid of, the best thing that you can do is add more friction to it. As in, if you are addicted to your phone, the best way that you can get rid of that addiction is by introducing friction. So what you can do is you can uninstall all the apps that consume a lot of your time. And you can remove Touch ID or Face ID from your phone and add a lengthy alphanumeric passcode, which will make it harder for you to get into your phone. And because of that, a lot of friction will be introduced, and multiple times you will not use your phone because it is very hard to get into. This is how you use friction to get rid of an habit. In the same way, if you want to build a habit, what you can do is you can reduce the friction in order to do the things that you want to do. For example, your goal was to publish 1 video every week, but you found yourself spending a lot of time setting up the camera, the lights, the angles, the backdrop and everything. The best thing that you can do is just use your phone. You can just open your phone, you can go to the front camera and start recording the video this way. Because of this, you won't have to think about the camera, the lights, the microphone, the backdrop or anything like that. Once you're comfortable shooting and uploading 1 video every week, what you can do then is add 1 extra step. Because of that, you're gradually increasing the friction and you're getting used to it. And that way you'll be a lot more likely to do the things that you need to do. And if you're a person who struggles with procrastination, as in if you're a type of person who knows that there are things that you should be doing and you want to do those things, but if you just don't be able to, watch this video up next. In that video, I share 5 unorthodox strategies that you can use to be productive every single day. I'll see you in that one. Take care. Bye bye.